One day, I shall come back. Yes, I shall come back. Until then, there must be no regrets, no tears, no anxieties. Just go forward in all your beliefs and prove to me that I am not mistaken in mine. Goodbye, Susan. Goodbye, my dear.
Hi everyone, TARDIS Go13 here, and today I'm going to be listing my top 10 companions. Now, this was a rather difficult list to narrow down because there are so many to choose from. There really are, and there are so many amazing ones. And, I'm quite, when I look at this list, I think, how have I not featured them on it? But I think I'm going to stick to this list now. And, well, yeah, let's just jump right into it. And first we have Ace.
I knew she carried the evil inside her. I think I'd have chosen a social misfit if I hadn't known. She couldn't even pass her chemistry exams at school, and yet she manages to create a time storm in her bedroom. I saw your hand in it from the very beginning. Oh. She's an emotional cripple. I wouldn't waste my time on her unless I had to use her somehow.
No!
Kill them.
Now, Ace sort of comes across as kind of like a template for the new series companion because she's got loads of backstory and whatnot, but I think she's used a bit better than a lot of the new series companions are, and is more likeable. And to be honest, she is a great companion in my opinion. I think she works very well opposite Sylvester McCoy, and yeah, their relationship really does have quite a lot of layers to it. And you really do see the Doctor as this kind of like very manipulative person, and Ace doesn't always stand for that. And yes, that's why I put a 10th on this list. Now 9th we have Sergeant Benton.
Oh dear, we are in trouble, aren't we? Just as when I turned up.
Doctor! Where did you spring from?
Now don't tell me. Corporal Benton, isn't it?
Sergeant Benton now.
How do you do, my dear?
Nice to see you.
I haven't seen you since that nasty business with the Cybermen.
Now then, this is a bit of a controversial choice for 9th place, as there are quite a few people who would say, well, he isn't a companion, he's more of a supporting, recurring character. And personally, I class him as a companion, so I think it's okay to put him in my top 10 list. And to be honest, he does serve the role as a companion for a lot of it, and also he goes inside the TARDIS for in 3 Doctors, and Liz Shaw never went inside the TARDIS, yet people class her as a companion. Now I'm not saying Liz Shaw isn't a companion, but I'm just saying, if you class her as a companion and she never went in the TARDIS, and you don't class Benton as a companion, and he did go in the TARDIS, then well, yeah. That's not saying everyone who goes inside the TARDIS is a companion, but I think I've made my point with Benton. And yeah, he's just a very good character. So now moving on to 8th place and 7th, I'm kind of going to do them together. So 7th and 8th we have Ian and Barbara.
There's one thing about it, Doctor. We're certainly different from when we started out with you.
That's funny. Grandfather and I were talking about that just before you came in. How you both changed.
Oh, we've all changed.
Have I?
Yes.
Yes, it all started out as a mild curiosity in the junkyard. Now it's turned out to be quite a great spirit of adventure, don't you think?
Yes. Well, we've had some pretty rough times, and even that doesn't stop us. Oh, it's a wonderful thing, this ship of yours, Doctor. Taking us back to prehistoric times, the Daleks,
Marco Polo, Marinus, and the Aztecs.
Now I decided to put Ian and Barbara together as a conjoined 7th and 8th place, because I can't really decide which one I like better, and they do kind of come as a pair, I guess. And they are kind of like the first companions, or 2 of the first, because you've also got Susan. And they are generally just real people who you can really attach to, and I think, back then, while you do often hear people saying that, the classic series is all about the Doctor and the companions are just there to scream and whatnot, but, in the early years, when you had Ian and Barbara, it was more about their story, to be honest. I mean, the first episode of Doctor Who is all about them. It's not about the Doctor, really. He's just kind of like the mysterious man in the background. And you really worry for Ian and Barbara in this. And to be honest, they were all equal while the show was named after the Doctor. All 4 characters were really equal in the storytelling back then. So yeah, that's why I like Ian and Barbara. Now, moving on to 6th place, we have Donna Noble.
What? What?
Who are you? But where am I?
What?
What the hell is this place?
What?
Okay, now then, Donna Noble is the only new series companion on my list, and that's for multiple reasons. Mainly because she's just, well, at the new series, she's the only one who doesn't really have a crush on the Doctor or anything like that. There's no real romantic interest there. And I guess you could argue there is a bit, but to be honest, I mean, she's more just his friend, or his mate as they would say. And I just think she's a great companion, because I mean, she has great episodes like Turn Left, where she's really developed as a companion. And the interplay between Catherine Tate and David Tennant was just great, and I think overall, yeah, she's just a great companion. So now that we've got that out of the way, let's move on to number 5, which is Sarah Jane Smith.
Don't forget me.
Oh, Sarah, don't you forget me.
Why, Doctor?
Why?
You know, travel does broaden the mind.
Yes. Till we meet again, Sarah.
So now, of course, we have Sarah Jane Smith, who is, in many people's view, almost the quintessential Doctor Who companion. And she's quite probably the most popular, because, I mean, she's reappeared in the show multiple times after she's left. She's been in 2 spin-offs, one titled after herself, and she starred in one. And she's just generally, I think, a good companion, in my opinion. And I mean, I preferred her with the 3rd Doctor, to be honest. I quite like that kind of like clash of character, but they still managed to be good friends. And I think she was at her best in her first story, The Time Meddler. Not the Time Meddler, sorry, The Time Warrior. Time Meddler's a completely different story. Yeah, in The Time Warrior, where she was quite independent and quite kind of like teasing people and whatnot, but still being a very good companion and making herself useful and being very practical and being something that wasn't really seen up to that point in companions. And while she did kind of go downhill after that and kind of like revert into the normal companion role, nevertheless she was great there, and yeah, I think that's why she deserves 5th place on this list. Now moving on to 4th place, we have Nyssa.
Vent 1.
A trap, Adric said. This is a time machine.
And we're traveling backwards in time. Back to the first event.
The creation of the galaxy out of a huge inrush of hydrogen. We're heading straight into the biggest explosion in history.
So I chose to put Nyssa in 4th place for a number of reasons. Now, she's my favourite 80s companion. I think she's kind of like got a very good character, really. And I like how she's not kind of like up front with the Doctor a lot of the time, but she can be. And I think, you know, generally, because you had the crowded TARDIS, she often didn't get to do a lot, which is quite unfortunate. But overall, I think Sarah Sutton gave an excellent performance. And she's just a very good companion, so that's why I put her 4th. Now, 3rd, we have the Brigadier.
What basis is that? Some kind of ornament?
Not exactly, sir. Watch.
Yes, I see what you mean. Never mind, we'll soon fix him. Jenkins?
Yeah.
Chap with the wings there. 5 rounds rapid.
So the Brigadier, or Sir Brigadier Alistair Gordon Lethbridge Stewart, whichever you prefer to call him, is, well, he's taken third place on this list for many reasons. I mean, he's one of the most prominent companions because he's been in loads of different stories spanning from the Second Doctor's run all the way up to the Seventh, and I just generally think he's a very enjoyable character. I mean, we see many different sides to Brigadier. I think I prefer him when we see his more serious side, and not to say he can't be funny in that serious side, but I'm not too fond of him in stories where they treat him as too much of a joke, which thankfully they don't do that often. I mean, the Three Doctors is one example where he's not treated too well. But I think the times when he is treated well outweigh them completely, and yeah, I think his interplay with the Third Doctor's great, and he's just generally got a good relationship with all the Doctors he's been alongside. So yeah, that's third place to Brigadier. Now, second place, we have Jamie McCrimmon.
We tried to get out of the office door, but the fungus is there. Well, I'm not surprised. I thought the intelligence would try to hem us in.
Yes, unfortunately, it's got into HQ.
What?
Don't worry, managed to get a fire door closed. Should hold it.
I hope you're right.
Come on, Anne, we must get to work.
Doctor, tell me this sphere of yours, exactly how is it going to help us?
Well, the sphere itself, it won't. Hey? No, but it will help us to test the control box.
Is that all?
All?
You mean to say you've wasted all this time just to...
Wasted? We haven't been wasting our time.
Well, I think you have.
Must agree with the boy, Doctor. You don't seem to have achieved very much.
Okay, so Jamie McCrimmon is a similar character to one who I picked in first place, but I'll get onto that a bit later. And, well, the reason I picked Jamie is because he is a very good character with very good interplay with the Second Doctor, Patrick Troughton. I think they work very well opposite each other, and the two are just a great pairing, really. I mean, there's a scene in The Invasion where they just sit down and pretend to play cards as the well, not play cards, they just kind of like the Doctor gets them out and whatnot, and then just does stuff with them, and they're just a very good pair, really. And Second Doctor's my favourite Doctor, so obviously Jamie, who is in all of his stories bar one, and technically you can't watch the Second Doctor in his era without seeing Jamie, because the other couple are, because the one where he's not in is lost, and yeah, he's just a great companion, Jamie is. So, yep, now that I've got that out of my system, let's move on to first place, who is Leela.
So, explain to me how this TARDIS is larger on the inside than the out.
All right, I'll show you. It's because insides and outsides are not in the same dimension. Which box is larger?
That one.
Now, which is larger?
That one.
Okay, so Leela takes first place for a number of reasons. I think she is an amazing companion. She brings out the best in the Fourth Doctor, I think. The relationship between them two is very good. And I think Louise Jameson plays her great. And yeah, she's just generally a very good companion, I think. And I mean, she can fend for herself, and she's not stupid. She may be savage and a bit primitive, but she's not stupid. So that's my top 10 video. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you all next time. Bye everyone.